Hello, distant learners. I am going to share a quick story with you about Abraham Lincoln, the other president that we are going to talk about this week. You learned about George Washington on Tuesday, and today, Abraham Lincoln. My story is called Abraham Lincoln, a Great President, a Great American. Abraham Lincoln was our 16th president, but he was a lot of other things too. Turn the page to learn about this amazing man. And then it says, Abe Lincoln was president from 1861 to 1865. Abe was born in Kentucky in 1809. He lived in a log cabin. He loved the outdoors and sometimes wore a fur cap with a raccoon tail. And this kind of hat is called a coon skin. Abe grew tall and strong. During his life, he had many jobs. His first one was chopping wood for 25 cents a day. He was 10 years old. That's not a lot of money. Abe worked to help his family earn money. He went to school for only a few weeks each year. As a young man, Abe drove a boat and was a soldier. He also worked in a general store. It sold different kinds of things, such as axes, spoons, and candy. Abe made all the customers laugh with his funny stories. Abe also worked as a farmer and a postmaster. He would stick letters in his hat and walk many miles to give people their mail. Throughout his life, Abe often wore a stovepipe hat like this one. So that's what they call these big hats, like that stovepipe. Kind of looks like this pipe that would be attached to a stove. Abe decided he wanted to be a lawyer. Back then, there were only a few law schools, so he taught himself by reading books. It worked. Abe soon became a great lawyer. Abe always loved to read. In 1842, Abe married Mary Todd. Soon they started a family. Abe loved to play with his sons. Abe's sons sometimes came by his office to play. During his years as a lawyer, Abe also worked in the state government of Illinois. He wanted to make America a better place to live. Abe was great at giving speeches. People called Abe Honest Abe because he was so trustworthy. Honest Abe, why don't you run for president? They said. So he did. And in 1860 he won. Abe grew his famous beard right before he became president. So you can see it on the cover. He's well known for that beard and his stovepipe hat. Being president was a hard job. At that time, the United States had big problems. The southern states wanted to break away. They wanted to make their own country and continue to own slaves. So these green states are the southern states. And then the yellow ones are northern and western states. And then this land was all land that hadn't been made a state yet. Abe disagreed. He thought America should stay together. He also thought slavery was very wrong. In 1861, the southern states attacked the northern states. This started the Civil War. As I would not be a slave, so I would not be a master, Abe once said. The Civil War lasted 4 years. Many battles were fought. Many lives were lost. But in 1865, Abe Lincoln's army won. More than 3 million people fought in the war. America stayed together. In 1865, an important law was passed that freed all the slaves. When the war was over, people came to the White House and cheered for Abe. On President's Day, we honor Abraham Lincoln. He was a great speaker and lawyer, but most of all, he was a great leader. You can visit the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. that. And I hope you had fun learning about Abraham Lincoln. You can write a fact, something you know about Abraham Lincoln, and make him. I sent a picture, an example of what the project looks like, and I hope you have fun making and learning about Abe.